I decided to get back to my passion, the thing I've always loved to do, which is hair. But it's more than just hair, it's a lifestyle.
When I look into your eyes.
What I'm doing here is basically letting you know what my morning routine is like about this thing, right? I'm watching YouTube and I'm trying to research and make sure I give you the content you need. And I'm seeing very simple things go down and people just, their channels or their views are crazy. Not that I'm chasing either one. I'm just trying to produce excellent content. This thing here does take some work. And I'm going to show you along with my morning routine. And I get up every morning, by the way, and I work out. I think it's one of the benefits of being an able-bodied person is that one of the things we're supposed to do is take care of our vessel. The tools, tips, and tricks, the things you're going to need if your beard's starting to grow out and it's getting thicker. One is one of these. It's called an Afro pick comb, whatever you want to call it. Back in the day, this was shaped like a handheld comb with a handle on it, and the teeth came out this way, downward. We call that a cake cutter in Los Angeles, a cake cutter. But anyway, something that can comb your beard out to where it lives, right? So that's one tool. This right here is another tool. It is a comb. Okay, you can get different versions of combs. It doesn't really matter what the comb is, but the point is the teeth. How well the teeth are separated and how smooth it transitions through your beard and separates things in your beard. So you're going to need something like this, a really good comb. And all combs aren't made equal. Trust me, this is a professional comb. It costs probably $7 or $8. Most people go, what? I can get a comb for less than 20, 30, maybe 50 cents, and you can. It's not going to perform like this. And if you're a barber, this is an excellent tool for a stylist as well because it holds the hair out on the end and you get to cut just what's on the end, even though the hair is curly. You just want to cut the end sometimes. And if you go into a beard or any curly mass of hair with a cutter or shears or whatever, and you attempt to cut, you can be cutting into curls and not literally cutting the end of them. So a good comb is important. Another tool I'm going to talk about, moving on, is the thing you actually edge your beard up with, right? You're going to have an edger, of course. This is a cordless edger. I'm not going to give you the name of the brand. It really doesn't matter. Long as the sucker is sharp, and it's not going to come as sharp as you need it to from the manufacturer. You're going to have to go get these things sharpened and zero gapped. I'll talk more about that in another video. I'm a hairstylist and I'm a barber, a master barber and a hairstylist. So there's so much information, it's crazy. But now we're on the barber side for just a minute. So zero gap and sharpen. Take them to someone you trust. And if you have a barber, ask him where he gets his stuff sharpened so he can do it. Not everyone is supposed to be touching your clippers, trust me. Anyway, then there's the type that's the trimmer, the type that brings down hair. Now, I'm in the mode where I'm on like a 30 to 40 day punishment because I've cut into this too much and it lost some of the mass and started losing what I needed it to be, which is a full beard. So this is the thing that I use to trim, sometimes just the top portion, maybe just hairs that are along the perimeter so it can define. But yes, you're going to need one of these too, sparingly if you're growing your beard out. The next thing that you may use, and there's a couple other things here that are pretty cool to know, is going to be, and this is a version of edges. This is the old school plug-in. The one I showed you was cordless. This one is plug-in. And this one I've owned maybe over 15, damn near, I'm aging myself again, almost 20 years. Every time I take it to someone to service it, they try to convince me to fix it, change it, throw it in the trash. And I keep telling them, I'm paying you to do one thing. Just sharpen this mug and give it back. I know what I have. You don't. So anyway, you get endeared to your tools as a professional, especially when they work well. And the older they get, the better they work. And this is one of those. I even cut out well, this ain't the one. My bad. I'm lying to you. The one I have, okay, we're going to do it like that. I got so many tools, it's crazy. This is the one that I've had over 20 some odd years. And you see it, I cut it open. It's got a T-line edger, the ones. And man, smooth. It's only recently that I changed out the blade. The next thing that you'll definitely need is something like this. Not all shears are the same, and if you got a cheap pair, it's okay. But if you get a cheap pair, please find a way to get them sharpened. And if they're cheap, it doesn't really matter who sharpens them. But if you have an expensive pair of shears, Pay a professional. Whatever the money is, make sure and pay them, because they will destroy your blade and you will lose the value and the longevity, of your shears. This is one of my local shears. It's probably really good, but it's not my $200, $300, $400, $500 shears that I have in my styling kit. But you're gonna need a sharp pair of shears. Okay, there's another option. Now, most black men, always dropping something, not always, but today, all black men are discouraged, and I discourage most black men, unless they know themselves, from using this on their skin at all whatsoever, no matter where it is, who knows. I'm talking about a razor. But in this case, I use this. Now, let me give you the story. I came here from the United States, from Los Angeles, all the way over to Kenya, sold everything, and I moved. One day, just woke up and said, I'm out. You know what I mean? I just got tired of being in the place where I knew I should not have been in the first place. Another time, another story. But anyway, once I got here, my equipment, most of it was on the ship, being shipped here. The other thing is that the clippers, when I got here, were on United States power voltage, where the voltage is 110 to 112, somewhere in there, 120, as they come out of the socket into your electronics, whatever it might be, motor system clippers. But when you got to Kenya, it's double that. It's 220. So it's just way too much energy, and they're just like they're on crack and they're smoking. I couldn't use my clippers. So I had to go into this knowing that this may not be the best option for me. But as a master barber, I said, hey, I'm going to have to do what I got to do. I got to keep myself up. I got to keep myself together. I am going to use my razor. Now that we're on the razor, there's something that happens when you have a razor. Some of them open really easily. You put two-sided razors in it. This one holds a one-sided razor only, right? And the technique or tip I'm going to show you today, if you have one of these at home, because you're going to have trouble removing this blade from in here. Even when the tightener is open, it's stuck in there as it should be. And these two divots that you see here and here lock in the blade. It's a half a blade. Let me show you. And what I'm showing you now is an exquisite technique that you should use. Grab a pair. Hopefully you trim your fingernails and toenails, brothers. That's what I'm talking to. If you don't, maybe you got a manicurist. That's another story entirely. I'm not even going there. But if you notice on this particular blade that there are divots on the bottom. You see them there? Those divots fit inside these two points that are in here, and it locks them in along with the tension. But getting it out can be a bear, and you can cut yourself if you know what you're doing. You've used these before, and your skin is acclimated to something like this. If you've been to the military, whatever the case might be, you know yourself. Most of us cannot use this. I must stress, men, do not use, black men, a razor. Curly skin will curve back into your your hair will curve back into your skin, and it will cut you. It will cut into you and grow bumps. The reason why is because when you use a razor on a follicle, just imagine this is a follicle. Now you come in with a pair of clippers, for example, and it cuts the follicle. It's going to cut it blunt, like straight away, which means it leaves it round, flat, and a flat surface that is growing out of your follicle. Now, if you take a razor, what you're doing is you're slicing the sucker. And what you're doing is you're leaving a spear-headed, razor-sharp point at the edge of your follicle. Now, the hair starts to come out before it reaches your skin, out of your skin. It's curving. Guess what happens with that point? It starts to point back into you, my brother, and it starts a bump. Now, imagine, 10,000 of those that live under here. You're going to have trouble. So I encourage you, know yourself, know your skin, consult your barber, call me. I don't know what you're going to do. List in the comments, ask me a question. It doesn't matter, but I discourage you. But in my case, I had to do it, man. I could not use the clippers, and I had to clean myself up. So anyway, the tip is this. Take one of these out when you have to take them out, because it's a bear and you can cut yourself mortally, and you may die in the bathroom from loss of blood. Just kidding. It's not going to be that deep, but it's not going to be fun, right? So this helps me remove it. When I'm putting it in, I keep the razor. It comes in a little plastic or paper covering. I keep the covering on it. I slide. And I slide it in through the top of this. That's where you get the blade in. That's the space. And then once you're pushing it in and through, what you're going to do is get it aligned with those grooves on the inside, right? And once you do that, in this case, and I'm going to do what I'm telling you not to do because of my experience, and it's in there. Once you do that, and even then I felt the sharpness of that blade cut just maybe just a little bit of the surface of my skin. Do not touch this blade, okay? Disclaimer, don't touch it. The next thing I do is I press it against something. I'm not touching this blade. I'm going to push it down into with something like this, or press it against it, and now those grooves I pointed out to you are aligned with the blade that I pushed in, and now it's locked. Hold on, almost. Now what you do is you push down the lever that fastens in this particular type of blade that fastens it in. It's not going to move. Now you have a working weapon there you can slit someone's throat with. Shave yourself with. Right? So those are the tips that I wanted to share with you. Lastly, before I get up out of here, the other thing that you do with your blades, and I see a lot of these guys do it. Me, I'm not necessarily predisposed. My point is, I'd rather this be all black, all white. Whatever's going to be, let it be. Huh? But what this does, it's a color. And it's designed to be removable. It's not permanent color. Don't go over and get a L'Oreal permanent color and put it on your face and wonder why it's too black. First of all, don't use black. Most of us do not have black hair. That's in a whole different ethnicity. Maybe Asians have completely black or very close to black hair. Most black people do not have black hair. We have dark brown to medium brown hair, and those are the colors you should be selecting. But this solution is for my spray gun. When I'm doing video shoots or someone is having a wedding or something like that and they need to be super crisp, I'll do it, or they just request it. It is the fashion of the day. But the point being is that this would be, if I were to use it at all, I rarely use this stuff, man. I'm not really into it. But if I were to use it at all, it would go just here to darken up. What I also do is at the end of it, I rinse it. I don't even want it super black. I don't want black. I don't want shoe polish on my face. But what it does, this is the tip, and this only comes from someone that knows what they're talking about. The tip is that it darkens the background. It tones your skin a little bit, and it provides background cover. And if you know anything about art or makeup or canvas painting, you know that one of the most important steps is prepping the canvas. So the background gets dark, not the hair. And then the gray and the other colors benefit from that. So you don't have to have the actual hair itself completely black with something like this, and it rinses out. If I shampoo my beard and I start rubbing it too much too long, this stuff is semi-permanent. And not even semi-permanent, it's temporary. It's going to wash off. So anyway, those are my tips for today. And in a moment, once I do the last tip, which is before you shave, you are supposed to soften the follicle, which makes it really easy. But the problem I have with some of these products is that it's so smooth that the blade skips the hair. That's another OG thing. So you don't want to put a whole lot of this on, right? If you're going to be using shaving gel or something to lubricate your skin to make the blade glide easier. The slipperier it is for the blade to cut the hair. So that being said, you want somewhere just enough so it's not sticking or it's not rough against your skin. So what I do with this is a little bit of this in the shower. Once again, I normally lose clippers, especially for the health and welfare of my skin. And that way I don't get bumps on the back of my head and all that kind of stuff. But since I said before, the power problem here, I couldn't use my clippers. I started using this in the shower on my yucca bean, my peanut, whatever you want to call it, my bald head, which, by the way, turned out to be one of the best things I ever did as far as being a sexy man. Women really love bald men with beards. Hey, hell if I know. When I tried it, became the man. Anyway, that being said, the last two I would use would be this most of the time. But in the shower with just a little bit of gel, after with some warm water and the hairs have softened up, and it only takes, you don't have to do this, but don't dig into your skin, none of that. Get the surface, make sure you get a point with your hand where you know where you're touching yourself. This is a guide. This finger is the guide. So now you know where your scalp is based on how far you're coming in, because you don't want to run right into your skin trying to, and all you need is just the wrong angle with something like this to cut yourself. Trust me, it doesn't take much. So anyway, one smooth stroke down and you're done. If you have to do a pass again, do it. Once you get really comfortable with this, you'll notice some of your places that you have more hair than the others, or it's a little more dense, especially in the back along the crown of your head. There might be a little more dense. You may spend a few more strokes in there, but just take your time. Take one smooth stroke up and from top to bottom and end at the bottom, and you should be done. Ron Raphael. Now I'm going to take you through the actual shaving portion of this part once I'm done making sure that the hair is fully hydrated and the cysteine bonds, the protein bonds, one of them is broken so the hair is soft. I'm after the shower, and now that the hair is soft, this is a good time to shave the hair. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need an aid, so let me know good products. And all hairstylists know this, good hairstylists. They know that the less product is better. Less is more. The shaving cream, just a little bit. So I already prepped the hair and the skin, and I'm going to just go across the edge right here and in the front. And then what I'm going to do is, well, for me anyway, it's best I start in the middle, I come down, and you're going to take your time. Now, remember, this thing is extremely sharp. Remember this. Most people are going to do it with clippers, as I said before. Either way, it's fine, whatever your jam is. But clippers is self-explanatory. If you mess up, you mess up. You won't kill yourself. You won't cut yourself. But let's go to the most extreme, the one that takes the most skill. Now, when you use a blade like this, obviously you don't want to come into your face or come into something straightforward. You're going to cut straight into yourself. You want to angle the blade. This is how you're going to do it. And as you come down, you're scooping and you're turning the blade away from the surface of the skin. So that's the technique I'll be using. So follow me along. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, first of all, get myself in a position where I can see. And then this is all sunlight. So find a mirror, find the most exposing light you can find. Not the bathroom light. It's not the best. Ring light, okay, if you got it. But if you can shave with sunlight in the window, is the best place to do it. All these tips, man, don't say I didn't tell you. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to back this camera up a little bit. Sorry about the angle that you just received. And the things you saw, forget about it. All right, so here we go. So now I'm going to go in, and I'm going to start right here. And as you see, I'm going to scoop outward. I'm going to start here, and as I'm coming down, I'm scooping out. Well, for me, I'm going to, and the other thing is that you want to make sure the skin is taut as possible. You want to pull the skin. For me, I'm going to pull the skin by doing this. Same difference, right? As in pulling your hand and pulling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the center. This is my guide. And please don't go as fast as me. At least your first time. First 100 times, right? So as you can see here, starting to get removed, and as I'm going to a point. Are you gonna make mistakes, man? I've made many. Every time you shave your hair, you're gonna do something like, I messed up over here. Oh, I messed up over there. Don't worry about it. We're all human. The air is human. Okay, so now once again, back on the other side. I have my guideline set already. I'm going to start in my nose. My hair is way up in my nose. And I shouldn't be talking while I'm doing this because I'm going to cut myself. All right, as I did it. You see? Shouldn't have been talking. You see that? This thing is sharp. All right, I'm not going to talk. Once again, at an angle, scooping in, scooping out. Now this cut is going to bleed for a minute. It's going to stop. It's going to heal really quick because the cut is so sharp that it's not going to really stay, bleeding forever, even though it can. But as you can see, that's blood. Yeah, so you will cut yourself, and I'm not going to talk while I'm shaving henceforth, so bear with me. Maybe I'm mixing some music in the background. Who knows? One last pass. And I am done there. Now the thing is, I'm going to use this guideline that I said already, and I'm going to move this way and up. Now the sides are even more sensitive. This skin on your face is very soft. It's the softest skin on your body compared to a baby's booty. So you got to be very careful with yourself. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to work my way up. harder. Now, as you get your way to the top here, the skin gets tougher. So the chances of you cutting yourself diminishes greatly. But along the side of your cheek, be very careful. All right, so one pass is all I needed. And every time you make a pass, you want to reach down to a cloth, your towel, and you want to wipe the blade because there's going to be hair coming off in it. All right, now I'm going to do the other side. The exact same thing. I see where my guideline is stopped right here. And I'm going to work my way up. And I'm going to back you down just to here so I can see. Okay? All right, now, once again, a little bit of moisture from the shaving cream that I have, the shaving gel, not cream. Barbers prefer gel because you can see what you're doing. And then I'm going to start at the guideline here and work my way up. This is my guideline here. Now, the other thing is guys like me, without 20/20 vision anymore, you're going to have to wear glasses. Those who do not have to wear glasses, you have a decided advantage because you got to put these things on and sometimes they get in the way. The glasses are literally blocking me and I have to figure out how to get around them. As you can see, I wasn't wiping my nose. This is a demonstration of how the glasses can get in the way. And as you move your glasses, you know you can lose focus, right? And losing focus is not a good thing when you got one of these in your hands and you're carving it against your face. But anyhow, those with glasses know how to navigate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to reverse the angle on this blade and work this way. All right. Once again, I'm picking up hair. I'm going to wipe it against the towel that I have sitting here. All right. So same thing. This side is easier for me. I'm right-handed. I'm on the right side. The angle is where it's supposed to be. So it's easy for me to see. This is what I call the dry cut. Now, after the hair is, or the skin is, free of the gel that you put on it, it's going to be a little bit rougher, but most barbers that I know with some history or skill are going to make a first pass, maybe with clippers or something like that, and to prevent the deep cut or the abrasion process to be less, they'll use the clipper first, and then they'll come back with a dry razor and just dry razor the edge that they just, created, which means you have to do a lot. Wow, you see that? Blood everywhere. It'll soon stop, and there's a solution for that, a blood clot solution that barbers use. That you literally touch it and it absorbs the blood and it clots it for you. But anyhow, that's another conversation. So I like myself a lot. So this will probably be one of the few times that I do this while talking, because you can see that I'm paying I'm paying for it, right? Anyway, only one cut is just bleed down a little bit, and this is point in case, right? I've never done this before talking, and I never will. Trust me. But I'll live. Every other haircut or trim or so with this thing, you're going to make a slight mistake, right? And you may cut yourself somewhere. It's just what it is to be a man and to use a razor on your skin. One of the reasons why black men don't use it too is because, you can cut yourself. So anyhow, so now I'm just cleaning things up. I shaved in the shower, my scalp, and then maybe some hairs lingering in certain places that I couldn't see. So I'm just going back and getting those with a dry razor. Now, mind you, my skill level is over many, many years, and I'm technically a hairstylist that was a master barber, and I went to hair school, right? But because of just my longevity in the business and using razors, and even before I went to hair school, I qualify, you know what I mean, in this realm. I don't suggest that you do what I do and you just rush in, because that's what happens. Fools rush in. Once again, I'm pulling the skin taut and I'm coming down. And when I get to here, I'm going very light as I start approaching the skin, because the razor's going to do its thing. You don't need to cut. You don't need to rub. You don't need to. The last thing I'm going to do before I get out of here, get up out of here, is this bottom surface area here. And I'm just gonna lightly touch it, man. This is where the bumps can occur like tremendously if you're not careful, and the place where a lot of the cuts may take place. So once again, I'm gonna go in. I like to go backwards up so I can feel the skin and judge, engage, and then come down. One smooth move. Stop talking. And it's imperative that you put tension on the skin. It protects the skin, and then it raises the follicle. It protects the skin, it gets the skin real tight, and then it makes the follicle stand out a little bit more, and it's easier for you to get at. So I go up so I can get a gauge of what I'm doing, and then I come right back down in one smooth motion. Man, something I've never done on camera for anybody anywhere. I didn't think it was necessary, but you guys get it today. You get the full benefit of a black man. Now remember, as I'm coming down, I'm scooping outward. I'm not going into the skin. I'm following the contour of the skin, and I'm scooping outward. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is, just for the sake of this, and I rarely use this stuff because it's literally for clients, I'm going to go in. Where's that stuff I had right here? Okay, I'm going to go in with a slight bit of color and show you how, if you were to do it, what's the best, or the way, not best, I'm sorry. There's no best way, you know yourself. Everyone has different approaches and different philosophies, but one of the ways I use and apply this particular washout type of color. 2 seconds. I'm back. Now, this is Tune 45 by some barbers that have been doing it forever. They make their living to make their money. I'm no hater. I'm not endorsed in any way. However, if you like what I'm doing here and you happen to come across my video, please reach out. I am in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, on the east coast of Africa. And I know you guys are not here. This market is completely untapped. There are over 1 billion people in Africa, which means there is a market here. Trust me. So don't worry about that. And half of that billion or more, that's just what they know of. That's not the actual census count here. That's what they Mzungus call, give you the number as. But what we know here is that there are probably at least another 500 million, 250,000 to 500 million more people here than those reports suggest. So I'm going to add a little bit of this stuff. Just a little bit. And then what it is temporary. So I'm looking in my mirror here, and what I'm going to do, my whole purpose here is not to color my black. Not for me anyway. And if you do, God bless you. No big deal. There's no hate. There's no judgment. Do what you do. My whole philosophy is to cover it and remove as much as possible. So as you can see, I'm not coloring my entire beard. I'm not with it. I don't even, But what I will do, and you see how it's starting to darken up. Yeah, it's standing out a little bit more, so on and so forth. As I said before, personally, I'd rather be all white or all black. Make up your mind in this area. But what I do here is give it a little bit. And, oh, no, you're messing up your gray. Some people like my gray. No, actually not. And so I go through, I let it do its thing. And then I let it sit for a minute. And then I come back, as I'll show you in just a few, and remove it. Now, I've stated, this product is not a bad product. If you're not looking for permanent, and something you can control and wash out in 1 shower or 2 showers, or immediately as you like it to be gone, it will be off of you. So, for the sake of purposes, you got it here. I'm going to rinse this stuff out, and then I'm going to pick out my beard, and I'm going to show you the last stages of grooming in just a minute. Peace. Back again is the final stage with the last tool, which are these suckers. And you know a professional stylist that's been doing it for a while because they could what they call flip the shears. And we also palm the shears. So when we're doing work, we're not reaching in with a shear coming towards your face, doing stuff or poking it. We palm the shear. We put it behind the wrist or heading in this direction so we can work with our hands. So that's how you know a pro. One of the reasons, or one of the ways you can tell a pro. And what I'm going to do with this is literally follow along the perimeter and get miscellaneous hairs, which will define the line. Another trick, all right? The other thing I'll do is probably clean up a little bit, not too far because I like my beard full and I'm on a sabbatical or hiatus or punishment from cutting my beard right now. So I'm not gonna cut it, but I am gonna go along the perimeter, right? And maybe the top here and get a pieces of this and pieces of that. It's no big deal. It don't gotta be perfect, man. It doesn't have to be perfect. There are many men that walk around with burly, unkept beards. So if you have gotten this far, you don't have to do a whole lot. You know what I mean? You're just cleaning things up, just a taste. And that's what I'm doing here. Ron Raphael, I'm out. Peace. Much love once again. Nairobi, Kenya, one of my favorite places in the world. Cosmetology and barbering industry. Look out. I'm coming for you. Not just to earn, but to take care of you as well.